Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you what I think of when I think of a specific brand. I picked 11 brands to start us out, and I'm just going to tell you which brand I'm talking about, and then just tell you the first few things that come to mind when I think of that brand. I'm interested about this video because I feel like we all have very different opinions about certain brands. I'm really not going to hold back. There are some brands on this list that right now are not on my good list, and I don't really have too many positive things to say about them. I'm just going to lay it all out there, and you guys will have to let me know down below if you agree or disagree with me on any of these brands, and also let me know if there's any more that you want to see me talk about in like a part 2 of this video. But let's just jump into it. Like I said, I've got 11 brands right now to talk about, and I have already jotted down my notes because I really wanted them to be like the first things that I thought about when I thought of these brands. So first off, let's talk about Colourpop. When I think of Colourpop, I think of the word sprinting because that's how I feel about them. I feel like they're always sprinting to the next collection. They're always sprinting for the next collab. They're always just going. But sometimes I think because of all of that like going, they forget about some of their old things. So what I mean by that is they discontinue a lot of products. They just are always on to the next thing. Once you get your order in, it's old news already because they've already had 3 more launches. Sometimes I think they have poor quality control. I really do. If you guys didn't know, I had the It's My Pleasure palette. It was like that plastic packaging, and they had like burn marks on the outside of the packaging. I think the glue that they maybe glued the mirror into the packaging with was too hot or something for that plastic, and it just bubbled up, and I just really didn't like the way that that looked. I feel like for me, a big reason that I reach for makeup is because I love the packaging of it, so just wasn't really a fan of that. And it's not the first time I've ever noticed that. For instance, the Pretty Fresh line, specifically the foundation and the primer, the cap is terrible. It's awful quality. They have to know this. Like, there's no way they don't. Almost everyone I see talk about these products, their cap is as busted as mine. I'm not a fan of that whatsoever. I've been very careful with this one from the primer, and it is also cracked, even though I don't think I've even ever like dropped this or even stored it in a drawer for that matter. I've never traveled with it. I just think it's awful packaging, but I love the product. I just hate the cap. Of course, I think of fast fashion when I think of Colourpop. I think that's pretty easily correlated, as they have mentioned that they want to be the fast fashion of beauty and of makeup. So, okay, I see that. On a more positive note, there is a lot of value within Colourpop products. Their quality is pretty good for the most part as far as like the actual product goes. I haven't had too many duds from the brand. I think that they're very trendy, which is, you know, that's a big part of fashion, and I think makeup can kind of go along with fashion. They kind of sometimes go hand in hand, so I definitely think they're very trendy and it works for them. They also have some great collabs. On this note, I found out today that they're going to be coming out with an Avatar: The Last Airbender collection, and you guys, I don't even know what they're launching yet, but I'm already anticipating that this might make me break my low buy. I don't even care because of how much Colourpop products go out of stock and then don't come back. They just get discontinued. I do think I will seriously consider breaking my low buy for this collection because it's very nostalgic for me, and I love that show so much. So they do have some really great collabs. I've loved their collabs with Kathleen Lights in the past. They've also just collabed with a ton of other like Disney things, especially different content creators, different, like literally anything you can think of, they've collabed with it feels like. So, you know, overall, Colourpop has really great prices. I think for the most part they have a good value, but there are a few things that I really wish that they would reconsider. I wish they didn't launch so much. It's just really hard to keep up with them. I used to really feel a lot more tempted by a lot of their products. Sometimes they also feel really repetitive when they launch things, like we just kind of question, have we already seen this before? So I'm crossing my fingers that they really pull through on this Avatar collection because I want it to be everything that I'm hoping it will be. So that's kind of like how I'm feeling about Colourpop. I've kind of taken a break from purchasing from Colourpop for the most part just because of how much they release. It's just way too much to keep up with. It's a little bit overwhelming. But I do have some really good staple products from them. I really love their Pretty Fresh line. The primer, foundation, and the setting spray are my favorites. I don't think I'll ever like not want to have those in my collection. The next brand that I'm wanting to talk about today is e.l.f. So I think for e.l.f. for me in the past has really been a hit or miss kind of brand. Some of their products feel extremely cheap to me, and I don't know how I feel about that, because at this day and age, I feel like there's so many different options for makeup. There's a lot of affordable options for makeup as well. And I just think with e.l.f. sometimes it just feels like you win some, you lose some. And at that point, the way I see brands like that are super affordable, if the quality is hit or miss, as I do feel about e.l.f., if I'm spending half the money but buying double the products and only half of those products are working for me, I would have rather paid double for a product that it would have worked amazingly well from the get-go, and then I wouldn't end up decluttering later on. That's kind of like my thought process with e.l.f. They do have some really holy grail staple products for me as well. I do have some favorites from them, but overall, I just think they're hit or miss. I also think that they have some excessive packaging on some of their products. I think sometimes they're getting a little bit better about this, but especially in their skincare lines, they use those plastic tubs that have like an outer packaging and then like an inner little pot, but there's air in between. But it just is like a whole other layer of plastic for no reason. So sometimes I think that their packaging is just a little bit too wasteful for me. Also, another thing, this might just be like a personal thing, but their SPF product that's in like a pot, for some reason, I don't want to use it because it's in a pot. So that's why I haven't bought it. If they had that SPF in like a pump or a squeezy tube or something, I would totally have already tried it out. But I'm just not into it in the fact that it's in a potted format and you have to like dip your finger into it. I don't know why. Let me know if you guys feel that same way about that SPF. Another drugstore brand, we got 3 in a row here, but Flower Beauty. Again, some really bad products, but some really good products. I feel like that's kind of like the common theme here with some of these drugstore brands for me. I feel like there's really great products at the drugstore, but I wish sometimes that drugstore brands would take a little bit longer before releasing things. Sometimes I just wonder like who let this go onto the shelf? I don't know. I tried like I think it was called like their Stellar eyeshadow. It was like a liquid eyeshadow and it was awful, like so bad. I tried their little quad that was just shimmers and it was, again, really terrible in my opinion. I just did not like it at all. It felt like a waste of money, but they do have some standout products. I love their Light Illusion line, especially their concealer. I used to really love the Light Illusion foundation. I do think I will be picking that up again this year now that they have that lighter shade called Shell, I believe, the L01. That used to be my absolute favorite, but I'm even more fair-skinned now than I used to be when I loved that. And the shade that I used to love in it was just too deep for me now. So I'm thinking I'm going to pick that one up again. I also really like the Light Illusion Serum Foundation. That is a very pretty light coverage serum foundation. I just think their complexion products are really great, but I've not really found any holy grails in other categories from them, except for their blushes. I love their blush bombs. Those are amazing. But again, kind of like with e.l.f., I would rather them have either fewer products. I don't know that I'd pay more than their price point because they're priced a good bit higher than e.l.f. for most products, but I would rather they have half of the line available than what they do, and they all be as amazing as some of my favorites, because it makes me not want to purchase from a brand when I'm unsure of the quality of their products. So like moving forward, I would kind of hesitate to purchase like an eyeshadow quad from them because I tried one in the past that just wasn't very good in my opinion. Let's jump to a high-end brand. I'm going to talk about Huda Beauty. You guys might know that I really love Huda eyeshadows. So when I think of Huda, I usually think like it's pricey, but it's worth it. I truly do believe that for most products that I've tried from her. I really like the packaging. I feel like she comes out with really high quality packaging, but I don't love the faces on her eyeshadow palettes. I think she's beautiful, and I like the pictures that are on there are really pretty, but for me personally, I would much prefer to have the palette be a little bit more subdued and just like beautifully designed versus just having her face on it. That just feels like it doesn't exactly match the palette inside. I don't know, that's just like not really my preference, but I do love the packaging. I remember the first time I saw the Mercury retrograde packaging, I was so obsessed with the fact that like the plastic inside next to the shadows was like see-through. I thought that that was so pretty, and I just really love her packaging and the quality of it. She really has some staple products for me. I love her Glowish line. I really love the Glowish skin tint. I really like the powder from Glowish too. I do like her full coverage, like faux matte, what is it called? Is it called faux matte? I don't know, whatever. I really like the full coverage foundation from her. It's not like my absolute favorite, but I like to mix it in with a medium coverage foundation to get a pretty full coverage foundation, because I've personally never found a full coverage foundation that doesn't look cakey at all on me. Pretty much everything that I've tried from her, I've really enjoyed. I did not like the Rose Quartz palette, which I did not expect for that to happen. I had a whole video about trying that palette out, and it just like wasn't for me, but it was just a lot more like blue than I wanted it to be. I think that they're very well branded. I think Huda as like a whole is very well branded. Her packaging always seems pretty cohesive. I also really love her lipstick packaging. I've been really wanting to try one of her lipsticks, but I think that all of her packaging, again, is really cohesive, goes really well together. It's very pretty and high quality, but I do want to see her branch out. I know that her little Obsessions palettes have different color stories, but I feel like she could spend a little bit more time perfecting some of those formulas from what I've heard. I've really only ever tried her pink toned palettes, but I would love to see her come out with a more like typical neutral palette. I think her quality would be really amazing in that. And as well as just like some larger palettes of different color stories. I'm really hoping that she moves in that direction. I want to talk about the next two brands together because I had a lot of the same things to say about both of them, but the next two brands are Fenty Beauty and Rare Beauty. These, in my opinion, are the two best celebrity makeup brands that I can think of. I just really like both of them. So of course, Fenty is Rihanna's brand and Rare Beauty is Selena Gomez's brand, but I just think that both of them have done such an amazing job of having their makeup brand be a standalone brand. Like, it doesn't depend on them as celebrities to sell the products. I think that the products that I've tried from both brands have been extraordinarily good in quality, and I can't really say that about every makeup item that I've tried from other celebrities, and also just things that I've heard about different celebrity brands. It feels like it's a more established company, both of them do. I think that they both seem very inclusive, which I really like that about both brands. I've also noticed that I think their advertising is also amazing between both brands. So from what I've noticed, I actually don't watch like a lot of cable, really any cable, so I don't know like that kind of advertising. But the advertising that I see on Instagram and just social media in general, I think is very true. Like, it shows real people, real skin issues and textures, and it also just shows real products. And I really appreciate that about both of those brands. I think that they're standing for really good messages, and I just think that they're both amazing brands. Let's jump back to a drugstore brand. This one's going to be a little bit of a quicker brand to talk about. I didn't have as many notes, but this brand is Hard Candy. I think that Hard Candy is a little bit underrated. I think that they have quite a few standout products. I think though that their packaging maybe looks a little bit young, and so their demographic might not be reaching a little bit more outwards as far as like some other brands might, but I do think that they have some really great hidden gems. I really like their hydrating like gripping primer, as well as their, I have it right here. I really like this powder from Hard Candy as well, the Chilling Wonder powder. This is really amazing. And I also remember I used to really love their lip glosses. Like, there's several products that I've heard of from this brand and that I've also tried myself that have been really amazing, and their prices are incredible. So I just think that they're a little bit underrated, and I would like to see them kind of make a comeback, because I think that they've kind of shifted to the back burner in most people's minds. You guys are gonna have to let me know if you like anything from Hard Candy, but I really think that they're very underrated. Next up, let's talk about Charlotte Tilbury, because I don't have all positive things to say. I do really like the brand though, so don't get me wrong when I say this, but there are a couple of things about the brand that I'm not the biggest fan of. So the first thing is their comments on Instagram can be a little bit annoying. I I think that it fits like the branding of how she advertises her products, of like darling and lots of like exclamation marks and just kind of like extra, you know, which, okay. But sometimes when they comment on people's posts, it's like a whole paragraph, and I feel like that's just not really necessary. I think it's really nice when a brand notices that you've posted some of their products, because while that post is something that you more than likely wanted to post on your page, it also does help them out too, you know, whether or not you're kind of like intending for it to or not. It could hurt them, I guess, if you gave it a negative review. But if you're just taking some really pretty pictures of makeup products and you include their pictures in your post, that is going to bring some traffic to their brand if someone is interested in something that you've taken a picture of and reviewed or posted on your page. So I think it's nice to see brands recognize that and to comment on those posts from especially smaller creators, but just any creator in general, and just say like, you know, thanks for the post, love the picture, just something like that. But sometimes I've just noticed that their comments specifically are just a little bit over the top, and I just don't think that that's really necessary. I do, however, think that they have really great packaging for their products. It's a very well branded brand. Again, it's a very classic and iconic brand. I feel like when you look at a product from Charlotte Tilbury, 9 times out of 10, if you know anything about makeup, you're gonna know that it's one of her products. It's very, very well branded and understood, especially in the beauty community. However, I do think some of their things are overpriced. So I did mention that I think Huda Beauty is very expensive but worth it. But some products from Charlotte Tilbury, I just don't know that they're worth the price. I don't know. So one product that I do think is worth the price is the Film Star Bronze and Glow Duo. It is $68, but let me tell you guys, I have gotten my money's worth out of that product. I have panned in both products within that little palette, and I still have a ton of product left. I'm like, that's really lasted me for pretty consistent use for more than a year at this point, and I think that product is worth it. Truly, like hands down, I think it's perfect. I think that the Magic Cream is overpriced. I really do. I did get that sent to me in PR, and I really, really love that moisturizer. I might go as far to say that if it were priced the same as my It Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream, I would consider purchasing that over my Holy Grail Confidence in a Cream moisturizer. Like seriously, nothing has compared as much as this one has to my favorite ever. Like just that one. But I looked it up, and it is so expensive. Like it is ridiculously expensive. If that's in your budget, good for you, but it's like upwards of $200 and something. No, I can't do that. Like there's just no way, like for me at least, I don't think I could ever justify purchasing a moisturizer for that much money when I know I love the one from It Cosmetics, and even that one is like $50 something. That is a lot for a moisturizer for me, but it's been so worth it for my dry skin that I purchase it. I usually find it on sale, but like I mentioned, I do think she has some really Holy Grail products that are worth the price. Okay, another high-end brand. I really love this brand. So next up is Natasha Denona. I think that Natasha Denona is one of the most talented makeup artists, period. Like I think that she is so talented. I absolutely love, like, I can't think of once. I'm gonna say this. I love every single makeup look that she has done. Anytime that I see a makeup look that's done by her, I know that it was done by her. I will go to the comments and I'll see that it's from her. If I see the picture and I see it's posted by her, like I will have known that before I saw her name. She just has the most beautiful way of showing different kinds of looks on different people perfectly every time. So she can show off a colorful look and it again looks perfect every single time. She can make a neutral look perfect every single time, but it looks different. It's very unique. It's not like over the top in the sense of like she does this graphic liner or anything like that. Like she can make like a wearable normal look, but I just know that it's hers. I just love that signature look that she has. And anytime that she posts anything, I want the palette that she made it with. So she can pretty much sell me anything, but her price tag is a little too high for my budget. So I do think that she is like the makeup artist that can tempt me the most on beauty purchases, especially from her own brand. But I really love her brand. I think that her eyeshadows are extremely high quality. I have the Glam palette, and you guys know how much I love that palette. I have used it so much, and I've only hit pan in one shade. Those shadows last forever. I love them. I also think that she has great marketing. Again, that signature look really goes a long way with her. Her models always look amazing. Like I love her makeup style. I really do. And the last thing is that I also really like that you can move shades around between the palettes. Like you can pop the shades out and kind of rearrange as you please. You can also switch them around. If you have two midi size palettes, you can switch them amongst the two. That's really cool. It's very expensive if you want to like create your own and have to get multiples, but I think that that's really awesome that she offers that. I'm a big fan of hers. I'd also really like to try some of her other products because right now I've only ever tried her eyeshadow palettes. All right, we have two more brands to talk about. One that I love and one that right now has a bad taste in my mouth when I think of it. So let's start out with the one that I love. This is my favorite makeup brand. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there, and it is Nomad Cosmetics. I have a lot of notes to say about Nomad. So yes, Nomad Cosmetics is my favorite brand. They do only have eyeshadow that I've ever tried. They have some like highlighters, but I don't think that they would work very well with my skin tone. This is the best way I can describe Nomad. They have that small town feel. Clearly it's not a town or whatever, but that's the feeling that they give me when I think about the brand. Like that's just the best way I can explain. I feel like if you've ever had any interaction with the brand, you probably feel that way too, because they have a good amount of followers on Instagram, right? Like they have a really big following, and the fact that they take the time to message you and they really just seem like they care about their customers and anyone that's like in their little community on Instagram especially. I'm really a fan of the founders of this company. It's husband and wife. I've chatted so much with Felicia, the wife, and I just really love her so much. I think that they have done a perfect job of creating a brand. I feel like this brand really hypes people up. So if you ever post a look wearing their palette, they're always loving on it. They're always complimenting you. And they're just very down to earth about their products. They're not like, oh yeah, your look is amazing just because it was our palette. And you know, our palette's so amazing that it could do that. They really like honor the artistry of makeup artists and makeup lovers. And I really appreciate that. Because we're going to talk about the next brand. And I don't think that they do that. The brand that's just like, I'm not feeling it right now. And this used to be like a favorite brand of mine, but let's start with the positives, okay? We're gonna start with the positives, and then we're gonna end on a bad note, okay? Thrive Causemetics. There are some things that I really like about Thrive Causemetics and I used to love, but there's one thing in particular lately that honestly makes me not want to purchase from them right now. And it's like a completely personal thing. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have ever experienced this with them. Like, this is just something that they've slid in my DMs about and my comments about on Instagram. And it's just like not a good look in my eyes. And I don't like it. So I'm not really like wanting to purchase anything from them right now. But let's start with some positive things. I really like the packaging of their products. I think the teal is very noticeable for their products. They have all of them in like that same color category, but I think that that's really good advertising. I also really love their CC cream. I've used up an entire one of those and I have another one now. I think they use really great ingredients in their products. I love that it's female owned. There are a lot of good things about this brand, but the one thing that is a negative to me that really like gets on my nerves is the commenting and the DMs, like what they've sent me in my DMs. I'm just gonna read some of them to you. So let's go back a little bit. I'm gonna pop the pictures up I'm talking about here. So almost every Monday I join in with Emily's hashtag called Makeup Macro Monday, where you take a picture of like a macro shot of a makeup product, just a really close zoomed in product. And back in July, I posted this blush. So here's the picture. And it was a Makeup Macro Monday shot. So what I said about this product in my caption was, this is the newest blush to my collection and I've been really enjoying it. It's what I wanted the Milani Luminoso to be and more. This is a blush from Thrive. Now they commented, and actually this comment is still on my page and I even liked it, but when they commented this, I kind of thought, okay, that's a little bit weird. This is the first time that it happened. But they put, we're loving this close-up shot of our rosy Copper Rose Shimmer Cosmo Power Blush. We're so thrilled you've been enjoying it. I just felt like they didn't really need to put like the full name in the comment. I was like, that's a little bit weird. The fact that they like even put Copper Rose Shimmer, it just felt like, they were trying to turn my post into their own advertisement by saying like, you know, oh, if you like this, you should go buy it. That's not really what my Instagram page is about. I post pictures of products that I like, and I'll tell you if I like them. And I did. I told you that I really liked it, and I had tagged them in it, I believe. Yeah, they're tagged in it. And I just like, that comment was a little bit weird, but that's not like, that was fine. I didn't delete it or anything. The next thing was a little bit more strange to me. So I posted Happy Valentine's Day on my Instagram story, and I shared the makeup that I had used that day to get ready. And again, I used that same blush in this look, and I will put up a picture here of the post. It had tons and tons of brands in it because I tagged each brand that I had a product from that I used that day. And it wasn't like a post about Thrive, like specifically, but they DM'd me a whole paragraph and said, "Hello, Kirsten, we are obsessed with your makeup collection here, and we are loving that your Cosmo Power Multi-Dimensional Strobing Blush and Rosy Copper Shimmer in parentheses is featured here. What do you love about our blush?" I read this and I thought, why are they doing this? Like, I don't know, you guys. This just made me like feel a little bit weird, but this was the first time that this had happened, where they were like asking me, like, what do you love about it? And so, you know, I'm pretty like, I try to be like uplifting and positive and stuff. And so, you know, I wanted to tell them like, yeah, I love your blush. I do really like that blush. So I did. I responded and I said, thanks for reaching out, that I love everything about the blush, the formula is perfection, and that I love the glowy finish and the copper shimmer. Like, I told them what I like about it. And I said, I love the shade of pink that this is. I also told them that I really like the high quality packaging, and I love supporting a woman-owned business by using it. I told them that I pair with my CC cream all the time, and I love that it's a perfect match. Trying to be like nice about it, you know? This long message is what I got back. This is when this like feeling in my gut started. I just like, I don't want to feel like like I said, I post pictures on Instagram that I want to post, and that was on my story even. Like, this wasn't something that I had posted on my feed. And they sent out this message, and it felt like they were just like patting themselves on the back. I just don't like that. I think, I don't care how big a brand is, I think that they should be really appreciative for someone commenting something very positive about their product. And I just did that. I just told them everything that I loved about it. And again, they included like the whole name of it. We're so glad you're loving everything about your Cosmo Power Multi-Dimensional Strobing Blush and Rosy Copper Rose Shimmer. Like, why are you messaging me like this? It just felt really weird. I don't know like who's in charge of their messaging, but I've just noticed this on their comments and their messaging a lot lately. And then I didn't say anything because I just was like, yeah, okay. So I just liked the message and went on with my day. But then 2 days later, I got a message saying, "We hope we were able to help you. Please take a moment to rate your support experience. We appreciate your feedback." You guys messaged me, like, based on what I put on my story. So I just like, I don't know. And then for St. Patrick's Day, I posted a picture of a ton of makeup products that were green because St. Patrick's Day. And again, I had their products in it because their packaging is that turquoise color. But again, it was not the only brand in the picture. And none of the other brands did this either. But they commented asking me what I loved about the products. And I was just like, really? Again? So for me, this puts a bad taste in my mouth. There are a lot of positive things about this brand that I mentioned earlier, but I just don't know that I will be purchasing from them because I don't really like to feel like a brand just is using me to stroke their own ego. I think that it's a little bit weird and just not very professional or normal. I've never had another brand act like that at all. I just think it's very strange, and I don't think that that's a good look. I understand that brands also are trying to like promote themselves and sell their products and make money to survive and grow within their own business, but that's just like not what I'm here for. I'm not really here for like, I'm giving you recognition and I'm putting your products in my photos that I've spent my own money on, but then now you're trying to use it as if I'm your paid advertiser, and I don't like that. So we're like, I told you guys I wasn't going to be sugarcoat anything, but this is like, that's what comes to my mind when I think about them. And it does stink because like originally I really liked this brand and I do really like the products that I have from them, but I do kind of hesitate now to use them in videos. And especially after that St. Patrick's Day post, I'm like, please don't do that. I just deleted the comment. I was like, I don't even want that like on my feed. And I don't know. Let me know, would that bother you guys if a brand was doing that? Because it just, like, I don't know. That's not what I'm here for. I talk about the makeup that I love, and that's awesome if you're happy that I'm posting your products, but I don't really like I don't want to like entertain that, I guess, on my page. So that stinks. But those are 11 brands that I have products from, and those are just some things that I'm thinking about them. Let me know down below what you think of any of these brands, if you agree or disagree with anything that I've said. You're obviously entitled to like and dislike whatever brand you want to. I was just curious because I think everyone has very different opinions about different brands, and I think that's very interesting. So also let me know if you enjoyed this video and would love to see another version of it. You can also leave me other brands down below that you want me to dive into and talk about on these videos. If you enjoyed today's video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!